I want to talk about how to motivate yourself even when you've been a fuck up in everything that you've done. Now, I'm not someone who's had a success in every endeavor that I've had. In fact, I'm a person who has failed at almost everything I've tried to do and ended up in a no man's land plenty of times. And when I stumbled upon information like Vadim Zeland's reality transurfing or things like the law of attraction, listening to New Thought authors, listening to lectures from people like Neville Goddard, Joseph Murray, listening to metaphysicians who are adept at what they do, like Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, listening to people who've taken the scientific route and tried to find God by touring this world and trying to find the truth behind things, like Robert Grant, Billy Carson, Greg Braden. And I think, like me, there's a lot of people who found this information, and the truth of this information, and this information being that you are one with everything, and the infinity that is everything exists inside of you. The I am of you essentially is God. And I understand when I say it like that, that can cause you to feel some type of way. The first time I was listening to a Neville Goddard lecture and I heard him say, "You are God," or when I was listening to his books or reading things like the Master Key System and others, and the first time that your mind hears that, it feels wrong, right? You've been taught all your life that to even think something like that is considered blasphemy, and that you're wrong and you'd be punished, tossed in some type of lake of fire or something like that for just having the thought, right? And then you go back and you think about your worst time when there was no family, no friends there to save you, no one who's coming to put you on their shoulder and carry you through, when you had to trust in something or someone, and that someone being you. And through a series of natural events that to you appear miraculous, somehow you were able to make it through. These types of situations happen all over. We all have had instances where we think of someone and then they call. We all have had instances where our intuition tells us something, or we have some type of inclination. Everybody to some degree thinks that they have some type of special gift or something, and we're not wrong. But whether or not we're using this information to actually be the best versions of ourselves, whether or not we're actually using this information to traverse this space of alternatives in a manner that not only benefits us but benefits society as a whole, because understand we're one. That's different. And it's when we run into a situation where, like I said earlier, you don't have anyone and you have to depend on yourself. That's when really knowing who you are and knowing how this stuff works is key. So I'm at another crossroads in life, and I don't want you to listen to what I'm saying now and take it as me trying to tell you about me just so that you hear about me, because that's not it. I have failed a lot, but my vision remains intact. And as much failures as I've had, some of the miracles that I've experienced in my life, some of the breakthroughs that I've experienced in my life, some of the signs and wonders that I've seen in my life, if I began to tell you about them, you probably wouldn't believe me. So when I tell you I'm at another crossroads where I can see that I can choose comfort, or I can choose sacrifice. And I can extrapolate over time right now what the outcome of either would be. And don't get me wrong, I understand my abundance is infinite, so even if I were to choose the comfort, I know I'll be okay. But it makes me question, why is it that I failed so much in the past? Is it a fear of actually going all out on a ledge to throw myself into a situation where I need to actually, where I'm suffering, not by the cause of some outside force, but by choice for a purpose. It kind of reminds me of when I was getting ready to head off to boot camp for the Marine Corps. After high school, talking to all the different recruiters, being in Air Force ROTC, and I'm asking myself, okay, I can go into the Air Force and I'll know that I'll be E3. For those of you that don't know, that I don't remember what the actual rank title is for airmen, but it's a pretty significant pay bump coming into the service. And based on the time that I had in ROTC, if I had gone into the Air Force, a what most considered to be easier branch than some of the others, I'd have gone in as an E3 rather than an E1 for other branches, or an E2 for other branches, because of the denomination of ROTC that I was in. And then I hear these Marine recruiters, I see the Marine recruiters, and I see their aura, and I see that it's a little different. And yeah, the uniform is different. And yeah, they carry themselves different. And they can say they're the few and the proud, and I can see that it's hard. But I can see that if I choose that hard route, the person that I become at the end of that is somebody completely different than if I choose the Air Force. I could see that if I chose the Air Force, maybe I'd still be in right now, comfortable, versus everything that I've learned to get me to where I am now because I joined the Marine Corps. So now, when I'm at this crossroads and I can see that the outer intention, or God, that I am presence that exists in all things, is now holding the choice up to me again, saying 2 roads are in front of you. You choose the path, and whatever path you choose, you need to be comfortable with it, because it's going to affect the course of your life for a good amount of time. And I can see that there's a passion inside of me that I've neglected. I can see that there's a talent inside of me that I've buried. I can see that there's a fire inside of me that wants to be unleashed. And the only way that I unleash that is by turning up the heat on myself. For you, you may have responsibilities. You may have all types of things that you see as barriers to you actually taking that hard route that you know would really change your life. But I want to let you know right now, a miracle is just a higher level of understanding. It's a natural series of events. It's things coming together, aligning, and they start in thought. All miracles start in thought. Your belief that you can overcome that hard route, your focus on the end, seeing yourself as you know you will be completing whatever journey it is, that's what'll get you through. Every battle is won or lost before it's even begun, by the thought of the participants in the battle. I don't know what your passion is. I don't know what your fire burns for. I don't know what lights you up, where your star sector is in this alternative space. But hopefully, me showing you my journey as I traverse this alternative space to mine helps to give you a little bit of motivation, so that you know it's not that I'm special. The I am of me is the I am of you. Anything I can do, you can do too. And we we all can do whatever it is that we set our mind to. And with that, I love you. I want to see the fullest expression of you. This is the spark.